Here we go. All right. Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Seeing Light Through Darkness. I'm your host, of course, Kylan, better known as Kai. And with me again are my lovely, lovely co-hosts, Miss Monisha. Are you there? And Miss Tequila, better known as Tequila. And y'all know y'all like to get drunk off her knowledge, girl. Say, hey, Miss Lady.
Hi. Hey.
And this evening we also have a special guest, Miss Stephanie Freeman, here with us.
Hello.
We are so excited to have you, Miss Stephanie. Before we get into our discussion tonight, I want to just remind our listeners where they can find our podcast, okay? Seeing Light Through Darkness. You can follow this podcast, Seeing Light Through Darkness, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. So just look for Seeing Light Through Darkness by My Mental Space. And you can also find us on Facebook at My Mental Space, as well as Instagram and Twitter at My Mental Space 21, the number 2 and 1. And last but not least, on YouTube at My Mental Space. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay tuned for the latest content. All right, ladies, so we're feeling good. We're feeling great tonight, right? Mo got her new phone finally. It's Friday and we're ready to have some good girl discussions, right?
Yes.
So,
ma'am.
all right. So tonight, I wanted to speak on women and domestic violence.
Yes.
And before I get things started here, I wanted to share it's national statistics, okay? And this is what I looked up today, and it says 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner.
That's true. That's true.
Okay. So I just wanted to highlight that. And Stephanie, we asked you to join us, to be our special guest tonight. Because I know you can relate, to this subject, unfortunately, but it's fortunate because you are ready to share your story. You are ready for people to hear Stephanie and help. Even if it's just one person, that's a lot. That's a big deal. It might not sound like it compared to the world, but it's a lot. So, if you could just what's your story? Let me just put it like that. What's your story?
First of all, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to be the guest to the podcast. And
definitely,
I give God all the glory and the honor for it. Just to be here to give y'all my testimony. My story started back when I was 16. A young girl wanting to run the streets. Had 3 kids. Through my journey, I got 2 girls and a boy. After I had my kids, I started venturing out into the streets and searching for love and a lot of things in the wrong places and around the wrong people. And I have several stories that I can tell, but I'm just going to tell this last story that I endured and the story that I'm enduring now. But like I say, God did it. And I just want y'all to know God did it. And I'm thankful for it. My story back in 2013, I was in a relationship with someone that passed away. And back to looking for love in the wrong places, I encountered a person on the MARTA bus one day that I knew from the neighborhood I lived in. And I took him home with me. And thinking that in my mind that, you know, you was going to be what I was looking for, to rebound what I had lost. But I walked into a really, really bad domestic violence relationship. Come to find out he was on drugs, but I wasn't on drugs. I had been delivered from it. Give me a second.
Take your
time.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Don't rush it.
Yes.
It is. I have always tried to kind of like hide the wound, but my heart forgave everything that was done to me. But you know, when you open that wound a little bit, it kind of stings a little bit. So, I had breast surgery back in 2013, and one night he come home and snatched the burglar bar door off and came in. And when I say he beats me, false imprisoned me in the home. But it started in the driveway after he beat me severely all around in here where I had my breast reduction. It was the same day I had day after the surgery. The neighbors sat there and they just watched. They were scared. And oh boy. Oh, ladies. He beat me so severely to where I was traumatized from it, to where I'm just trying to fast forward a little bit to it. The traumatization to the mind, it has me seeing a therapist now like twice a month from the abuse daily, just abuse, black eyes, just coming in, jumping on me, hit me, you know, through it. I had 10 surgeries on this left eye right here, 10 on this eye right here. I had 10. After the abuse went on like for a whole year, my parents knew it, my father knew it, but I would always hide it from it. But God gave me a key to the abuse while I was going through it, and I want to just share it with y'all. I just don't want to, it may seem like I'm running from the whole story, but I want to share to you the key, and I know it should be at the end of the probably podcast, but I want to share the key. This key I need for women to hear. Mm-hmm. 2 keys I need you to always listen out for, women. When a man can't never, or you can't see him treat his mother right, he's not going to treat you right. Mm-hmm. Just like he treat his mother, he should treat you. If he's not doing that, that's a sign right there. Mm-hmm. The second sign, when his mother tell you that her child is no good to you, that you need to leave that situation and what he's about, you walk, you go, don't stay. I disobeyed and I stayed. So after I got beat really bad that night, it was November of 2013. I got beat really bad that night, but the other abuses, they was like, I'm not going to say minor because abuse is not minor, but I'm talking about the severe one. After that, I moved out of where I was staying and I took him home to my next place to live. And when I took him there, it was so over the top. When I say over the top, knives at my throat, phone threw up on the bed, just constantly being beat in the head, beat, eyes swollen. When I woke up after the last attack from it, I woke up to a bunch of detectives when I looked up. But God did it because He allowed me to call my family the day before to tell them that I love them. And my father said to me, and I never forget when I looked up at him, he said to me, I thank God that you didn't tell me that you was being beat by a man. He said, because I'd be in jail, but I knew you was being beat. You just kept on lying to me. I am still emotionally scarred right now to this day. Not only from the abuse mentally, but physically. I'm mentally now going through a marriage that's verbally abusively. I didn't come on here to be a crybaby, so y'all excuse me. It's just a tough topic.
You're right.
But I do have some joy out of the situation. I'm still standing. And I have people like you all that believes in me. And that's giving me a chance to just speak.
Yeah.
It's hard to really speak to people and really just communicate sometimes, because of the trauma. It's emotionally, I just feel sometimes emotionally scarred. But I'm at the point now where I have no choice but to walk away from all the abuse, mentally and physically, over the years of my life. God blessed me to see 54 about a month ago. So He commanded me to sit still now because I didn't listen when He asked me to walk away from the abuse. So I stayed in it because I wanted to be loved by the man. And it wasn't like 7 days of love. It was like out of 30 days, you would get like a week of hope. And then the next 3 weeks, it's like you back scarred again. And that's what I have dealt with in the past and I'm dealing with now. But I know for a fact that I am a good woman. And someday and one day, I'll see it. But I would just like to share with ladies, you don't have to accept what comes at you from a man. You don't have to accept it.
Right.
Because God will supply all of our needs. And where I'm at now, I have been ordered to sit still and stay humble through my marriage now. And not necessarily say take the verbal abuse, but be still so God can work in me.
Yeah.
And ladies, He's working in me. When I tell you these tears of joy, He's working in me. Can I share it with you all? I have always had a passion for wanting to help seniors. I have always told Tequila that because we was close growing up.
Right.
And I always told her that I love taking care of seniors. I love just doing stuff. I love cleaning. And our time is not our time. It's God's time when it's His time. But I've always prayed for it. And God is doing a great work in me on a lot of things now. And just by y'all allowing me to be a guest, it's a major support to me. It just takes me like my cup just overflowing.
Yeah.
Because 2 Sundays ago, I was at a church giving my testimony. So it makes me stronger. It gets me through some days, you know. The abuse is unacceptable. It's very unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Love don't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Absolutely.
But when you know you're a good person within yourself and you learn to love yourself
and know your worth and your value.
Your worth. Exactly. Exactly. When I tell you that I'm a woman that's being built up back with weight now, the weight is building. Ain't nobody doing it but God. My tears of happiness. I forgive each and every one who has hurt me in life. Each and every man that put his hands on me. Each and every one. I know I can count over on my hands, maybe even you guys' hands, even you two, you know, your hands. I can count how many times I've been in abusive relationships. But let me tell you, this one here hurts the most because it's hard verbal abuse. It's very hard verbal abuse. And you know why? Because there's no communication. And I go hard at it. But I was told today, stop going so hard at it. Stop. Stop going hard at it. When I can truly say this to you, abuse is not a good feeling. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. But through God's grace and mercy, and a lot of support from a lot of people, now I'm walking through some light, and I'm seeing some light now.
Right. You walking out of getting out of the darkness.
I am seeing some light.
I was like, ooh, light and dark.
Yeah.
Right through the darkness.
I'm seeing some light.
Yep.
I'm seeing some light. And when I tell you, it's some light I've been on this earth 54 years.
That's a great thing.
I never felt like I felt before. There used to be a time I couldn't stand still in this verbal abuse situation I'm in now. But it get easier and easier day by day.
Mm-hmm.
The space that rents in your brain and always tell you who you can't be, what you can't do, what you're not going to do, who you ain't going to be, you better not do this, this the voices.
Yeah. Yeah.
God is so good. When I tell you God is so good.
Yeah, and it's gonna get louder. It gets louder when you're moving closer and closer.
The trumpets are blowing. Mm-hmm. They are blowing. The trumpets are blowing.
Yeah.
They are blowing.
Yeah.
Constantly. They are blowing. When my tree started to separate, this is a tree, and it got leaves on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every tree, just say every leaf on a tree represents a person.
Right. Right.
They have hurt you. One side is where they hurt you, and the other one's the ones who have helped you.
Right.
When I say the ones have hurt me, they can't even face the truth. They just drop.
Yep.
God just dropped them. They just dropped.
Yep.
He put my enemies at my footstool.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yep.
My enemies hit my footstool.
Yeah.
And he commanded them to be still. And he left one. I'm not going to even call it a demon because my heart is so passionate. It just can't take being evil or mean to nobody.
Right.
But when he put that last enemy at my footstool, which is my husband, and when I tell you the verbal abuse, it's so bad it makes you shake sometimes. And you all are really experiencing something I have never experienced right now. I'm dealing with this situation. I had a situation went on right before I came on with you guys. Mm-hmm. And I have never dealt with it this well. I never dealt with it this well. When I tell you I was a rock, I was a pit, I wasn't going to take it. I told him, you know what I told him? Look at here, brother. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, brother, mister, or whatever you want to call it. If you don't want me, let me go. What you want with me? Hit a nerve. Hit a nerve. You grabbed what you think was best for your life and went out the door with it. The old Stephanie would get in her car and say, let's go. God said, you better not move. You go out that door if you want to. You're going to feel some more pain. Keep going through them doors you ain't got no business going through. You've been verbal abuse. You've been, what more can go? You've been 10 eye surgeries. You've been beat. You've been verbal abuse. You've been stepped on. You've been neglected some ways through the family. You know, ain't nobody did it but God. That's how did it. And my husband tried to break me down. And guess what? My message was for my husband. You are not going to break me down. Because my shirt tells it right here. It say you're a wife. Not only that, you're a mom and you're a boss. On my way, the trumpets are blowing. They're blowing. And not only that, God is so good with the situation when it comes to abuse. He brought it back to me. My daughter was going through it. God stamped me before it to see her walk away from a situation. And when I tell you, when she walked away, she walked away like Queen Elizabeth. And when she walked away, everything she was sitting there trying to hold on to with him, when she walked away, he gave it to her. You want to know what it was? She was holding on to a man thinking he was going to love her. She was already over the 7 years of completion of marriage by the Bible anyway. The completion was over with. If he ain't married for 7 years, he's not going to marry you. You time to go.
Right.
Okay? I learned that. That's why I end up in this piece what I'm in. But anyway, she walked away from it. When she walked away from it, God gave her everything. He supplied all her needs and walked her right into everything that he had waiting on her. Not only did she receive what she had been waiting on for is financially taking care of her, she walked into her own house. Her car got paid off. She eating again. My daughter been sick the last 10 years with a tube stuck in her chest, feeding from an IV pole. Yeah, 4 times. 4 times. And now she's living her best life.
Ain't God good?
God deja vu some things for me. He deja vu some things for me. And I tell you, it's so good. It's so good. I'm rocking in my chair now. God is good. He gives the words I'm talking to y'all about right now. This is the word God put on my tongue. I'm talking to you. He don't want me to talk hard about the brutal stuff. He want me to talk to you about how you can make it and you don't have to constantly load yourself with negativity from and abuse from a man, or the man don't have to do it from a woman. Listen to God. He will see you through this thing. I'm gonna tell you, I haven't felt so happy in my life.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling that way. Days. Yeah, you owe it to yourself. You know, you owe it to yourself.
All of us do. All of us.
That's true. All of us. All of God's children.
All of us that have went through it. All of us. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves. It's just only my testimony, but all of us owe it to ourselves.
And then
all of us deserve to be happy.
One thing you said, Stephanie, that we because like I mentioned about, we talk about the physical abuse a lot more, but verbal abuse, that's a thing. That is a thing. That verbal abuse is a thing. You don't have to I ain't put my hands on you. I ain't doing it. I'm just saying the general thing, but you still abusing. It's here. It's mental. You're killing me mentally.
Yeah. Kylie, I tell you like this. Kylie, I tell you, if I were to show you a picture of my husband, he ain't but 4'11". and you can't imagine how tall I am. I'm 5'3". This little rah-rah thing, him. I tell it to her like this. You're not none of my daddy. You're not hiding God. Look at him, mister. You can cut it out. You can cut it out. You're not going to have control of me. I have took control. I've been with this situation 8 years. I have took control of myself.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
Okay, Stephanie. So you were saying about you were getting ready to elaborate more on the verbal abuse, because, you know, like I said, a lot of people may not be experiencing the physical abuse, but are experiencing that verbal abuse. So what can you say, you know, what's your thoughts on that? Like,
my thoughts on both of them, to me, is the same definition. It's the same definition. It's abuse. Abuse is abuse.
Right.
Abuse is abuse. And it's just unacceptable to be abusive to people, period. And to endure it and mentally scar somebody from it, I think it's the most despicable and horrible thing to do to a person. You know, if you don't want to be bothered with a person, or you see you and that person can't get along, or you have issues, or the next have issues or whatever, it's called communication, and all you have to do is communicate with one another to get an understanding. But then when you put yourself in a position where you see this person don't want to communicate with you, or whatever you lacking in that relationship or friendship or whatever you want to call it, don't go hard at it and try to make it something it's not, you know, because you will only hurt yourself. And then not only that, you're not going to only hurt yourself, but God will put you in a position where you have no choice but to be still through a situation, or a lot of situations. I was just blessed to be still through this baby step situation. This is baby steps. Like I say, the trumpets are blowing, you know, so it's always a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to make it up in your mind to walk away. But verbal abuse and mental abuse, physical abuse and verbal abuse, it's the same definition to me. It's it hurts.
Right, they both hurt. Right.
So yeah, it's the same. It's nothing different, you know. Even in a man's position, the man is somebody's father, he's somebody's son, he's somebody's brother, you know. And the same with a woman, she's somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter. And like I say, my favorite word is, if it ain't broke, you know, don't fix it. Don't try to fix it, you know. And my thing is, if you don't want to be bothered with somebody, go on and go. You see it broke, go. If it ain't broke, leave it alone. You know, but if you see it broke, you go. You know, don't hold on to something that don't want you, because I'm living proof to sit here and tell you, I have held on a lot of abusive relationships. I really have. I have tried to hold on a lot of them, and I made it through the abuse. I even made it through a drug addiction. I made it through that too, and I made it out, you know, and, you know, it's light. It's a whole lot of light at the end of the tunnel. So my advice to men and women, don't give up. Don't give up. But when you see that sign, that first sign, walk, go. Don't think you can fix it, because you can't fix something that don't want to be fixed. Not only that, if they're gonna change, let them change for themselves, you know, but you're responsible for yourself. So learn how to take yourself. So like I said, at my age 54, I just learned at the age 50 to learn how to take care of step, but I am having a serious and a real reality check now, how to take care of myself. And it can happen for us, men and women. It can happen. Like I say, just look for the first signs of abuse. And most of the time, it's controlling. You'll see controlling, a lot of phone calls, pop-up visits, attitude changes. It's a lot. And the main thing I want to say to men and women, look it up too on YouTube if you want to. I deal with a narcissist. I have been with a narcissist 8 years. If you know the definition of a narcissist, is several of them. And narcissists are controlling people, very controlling. And when they feel like you're taking their power, they get angry. They don't like to be called out. The show have to be their way or no way. You know, they don't communicate with you. They live in this dark world, a real dark world. And if you're not applying what they want, they're gonna go prey on their next victim. I'm living proof to tell you now. That's what my husband do every day on his job. Eyes haven't seen, but ears have heard. He does it. And I dealt with it. But I didn't know what a narcissist was till someone introduced it to me. And they say, do you know you're living with one? And they say, that can be very dangerous. That's worse than being abused. I said, well, abuse ain't worse. I said, I'm going to try to make this work. Girl, a couple of years ago, I wanted to commit suicide. Got tired of him. But wanted to commit suicide because of him and his job, and he wasn't treating me right. Girl, is you crazy? No, step. God got more for you. God didn't bring you this far to leave you. You are what you say you are. And no one can take that away from you. They can do it if you allow them to. I have, and I'm honest, and I'm guilty to that. I have let a lot of men took a lot away from me and made me feel like nothing. But I'm starting to be built up again. And when I say the trumpets are blowing, they are blowing, and it's light at the end of the tunnel. And
so Stephanie, I guess going back, you know, when you were in that relationship where you were just getting, like you said, just beat really bad, the black eyes, you had to have the surgeries. Can you take us to that day that said, you know what, I'm done, no more, and the steps that you took after that to lead to where you are now?
What made you realize that it wasn't for you?
Y'all got 3 more hours on that one, because there's a lot of in between relationship I was in from that. But like I say again, God, I did it. But for me as an individual, when, like I say, I looked up that morning and I saw all the detectives in my face, and I knew that I was already out searching for love in the wrong places. But I woke up after being abused, and I looked up on my own living room floor where he left me after he had a knife at my throat at night, and constantly beat me with his fist. When I looked up and saw the detectives, but I saw my family standing there. I saw my mother, my father, my brothers, and they had, it's not funny, but they had changes and all of this stuff. I wouldn't put past other stuff they had, but I looked up and I saw family, and I said, I heard family love me. So the thing is, you know, just seeing my family there, knowing that I knew they loved me, and I had to get to that point for them to see and feel that they loved me, for them to come to my rescue. That was it. And I was done for a while. And that's when I met my husband. And but in between that, I did date off and on. I had to put several men's out. That's why I came to the point I won't be bothered. But then I met my husband, and it was great. I met my husband back in it's been so long. I done put up with so much, I can't think. It's been some years. And I met him, and don't get me wrong, he has some good qualities, but I'm not going to salute you because you don't know how to treat a woman. So for me to just say I'm done, I want to feel more of me and feel like a lady. So that's why I just concentrate on me now and getting to the point where I want to be in my life. So I can't recall what year because I have brain fog sometimes too, because I was beating in my head and stuff a lot. And like I said, I had 10 eye surgeries. Still got some bruises up on the here from where he did, but that last incident in 2015 just done. I was just done with it. And I thought I was done with it because I prayed to God that he would put a man in my life that standard was higher than how's my father's? And what I meant, how's my father would go to work every day, take care of his family, and my father gave me tough love. So I guess I did kind of ask for too much, and God gave me a man that thought he was in control. And I just took control of my situation. I just took control of it.
Yeah.
Took control
You got
of it.
tired. You were tired of living that life. And like we said, you started to know and realize your worth and your value.
My worth, yeah. And it feels good to know your worth and your value as a woman. But I'm still not out the woods yet. I'm still being prepped by God. But God is surrounding me with genuine people. I use the word genuine people when I say genuine people, because genuine people will only tell you the truth about yourself. They will only tell you the truth. They won't hurt you.
Yeah.
And God surrounded me with genuine people. And I'm just thankful. And I see myself standing in that land, that center field, and I'm just surrounded with genuine people. People that won't ever lie, won't ever lie to you. They'll tell you the truth, not just about yourself, but they'll tell you the truth about anything. I surrounded myself for years around so many people to where I can honestly speak. I can say I heard so many voices in my head, so many voices. And, the voices will tell you to do so many things. Those are one of the things they would tell me to stay in those abusive relationships, and made me think that they was fine to be in. They was okay to be in. You do a little bit for me, I'm happy, But when you know your worth, like you said, Kyle, when you know your worth, you know how to stand tall. Stand tall. All you have to do is stand still, And it feels good to just know I'm growing with my worth. I'm growing. And people giving me a chance to speak. They're not judging me on how I speak or how I act or how I look or what I'm doing. They just let me be me. And it feels good for people to just let you be you, especially when you've been broken down and 1,000 pieces, excuse me. You smile like you just the happiest person in the world. Life is so good for you, but you're broken in 1,000 pieces inside. But I can stand before you now and tell you my puzzles are being put back together. It's a feeling like I never felt. I can stand and tell you the verbal abuse I took from my husband today. I could see myself on the phone calling everybody in my family. Everybody. Just tripping, flipping, just that mouth, just giving that energy away. My body feels so good today. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to just be a guest on this line with you young ladies.
And we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
It's really a tough subject sometimes, but it's a lot of us need to hear it. We need to learn our worth. And I didn't know my worth. My worth, I felt they made me feel like my worth was 100 for to hold on to a man. But when God started talking to me and I can hear his voice, and I can tell you when he prepared me for the position I'm in now, it's unbelievable, ladies.
And he's
so unbelievable.
And he's just getting started.
He's
just getting started. And Stephanie,
my passion is being fulfilled. It's being fulfilled.
He's not done with it.
It's not done. Oh no. But the point is, I'm able to see the light, ladies. So, you have to take deep breaths sometimes. It's hard. And the battles have you doing your hands like this sometime, and you just be like, ooh, and your body cringes up, I went from 170 something to 250 pounds when I got with this man. I weighed 250 something. I started having health conditions that doctor said, but God didn't say it. I'm learning to speak life over myself now. This man it just clenches his skin for me to speak life. God made today, young ladies, where I'm able to be on this line and speak with no disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I could be sitting speaking with y'all and who you talking to? You so worried about what I'm doing, but you need to worry about what you're doing because you got an answer to that. Not me.
Mm-hmm.
I can repent, forgive me.
Yeah.
I'm finna walk my journey God has for me.
Amen.
And no one is going to stop it. No one is going to stop it. Because what God has for me, He has for me. And one thing I love about God, and I'm speaking about God because God is my healer. I did not, I can only give Him the credit to this. I can be on this line with you guys 3 days. I'm just preparing myself. I'm just hopefully one day I can have a book to write. I like to read. I have books, but I like to read. But I want to write that book. You know, God did it. I give Him all the honor, all the glory, all the praise. Trust me, my house is not a glass house. My closet is cracked. My closet was wide open, but it's cracked now. So I'm going to get through that crack because God say, what I tell you to do, you going to do. What I asked you to do, you didn't do. Mm-hmm. So what I told you to do, you did. So heavy weight.
Mm-hmm.
I was on social media the other day, and I shared it on my page. I don't know the gentleman's name because I really don't, look, but I just like strolling on social media because I love reading other people's testimony and just encouraging words because the encouraging words uplift me too. And just looking on certain people's pages, they have uplifting things, some tools that can help me get better. He admired me so much I went into his inbox and just told him, my brother, he was on there speaking, asking God for forgiveness on how he have treated women, abused them, used them for sex, used them for nothing, treated them like nothing. He even sat there, he repent 40 minutes of his life of how he treated women. It's on my page, under Stephanie Freeman. I accept friend requests, but some people I don't know. So some of them, I reject, but I think I connected to Tequila page, but his testimony is so powerful. It took me another cup overflowed in my life. Now, I told you guys about the three cups that's overflowing. It's just my cup is overflowing now. Mm-hmm. My prayers are being answered by God. When your inside start healing from the abuse and the mental and verbal and physical abuse, the inside part start healing, you know that God is doing what He's ordained you to do. So you just have to work. I can't wait till my whole door get closed, ladies. I can't wait. I'm not going to be on Zoom. I'm going to be on the stage. I'm going to be on the stage. I'm going to travel. It's going to be so much. Mm-hmm. My testimony is going to take a lot down. It's going to be a lot of people don't like me. They're going to talk against me, but I'm going to study thrive. I'm going to study motivate. I'm going to study grow. God is going to do so much for me. So much for me. I already know it. So where I stand now, ladies and gentlemen, where I stand now, it's not an easy stand in a position, man. When you care about somebody and they don't care about you, but God told you better care about yourself.
Yeah, care about yourself.
Come on now. You better care about yourself. If you don't care about yourself, do you think, how many years it take you to see that somebody don't care about you? Is you going to be a fool all your life? No, we got worth, ladies. We got worth.
Yes, ma'am.
And worth comes in all kind of bags, all kind of surprises, all kind of ways. But always remember the key word. It's not our time. It's God's time. Yep. It's my time to show people that have went through not just mental abuse, verbal abuse, drug addiction, prostitution, kids being taken away. My father, I even have a testimony how my father tough loved me. As a woman, as a girl, I'm a woman now. I can say that for myself. I am a woman. You're going to treat me like the queen I am. I tell my husband that it touched him too. I am a queen and more. And more.
Yes.
And I would not take nothing less from a man. Don't need your money. Don't need nothing negative from you. Don't need no evilness. Don't need nothing gonna disturb my peace no more. If you choose to get yours done, you do what you do. But I always remember, what God created in me, I'm gonna walk mine before I leave him. And it took me 30 years, close to almost 35 years. I have 3 grown kids. If my kids are able to have their own, just not speaking materialistic, but kids that just don't bother you. Kids know how to take responsibility of their own life in whatever shape, form, or fashion it come in. They know they got a great mama. My grandkids know they got a great grandmama, a good grandmama. Can't mess with what God got for me. I don't care how hard you come at me.
That's true.
Keep coming. The abuse already done. The abuse already done. Can't hurt me no more.
That's true.
You can't hurt me no more. If you want to live in your dog world, you can. That's fine.
That's true.
But I ask God to teach me how to pray for you, not to talk about you. So, like I say, lady, back to my glass house. I don't have a glass house. I don't have a closed closet either. But I will speak over my life now.
Yeah.
God did it. God did it. I said it. God did it. And you ladies might see me probably in the next 6 months with my own shirt line saying God did it. Something God gonna do for me. It might not even be a shirt line, but I know what he had stored up for me in heaven. My treasures are being built because you store your treasures in heaven. So the pain, you can't hurt me no more.
Yeah.
You can't.
And once you make that decision, that's it. You know,
that's it.
Stephanie,
that's it.
I am one of those women who have experienced, getting beat on and everything too. And, I spoke about this. We spoke about this in some past shows. But you're right. You have to make that decision. And, you would think if you were to see us in the same room, you wouldn't even think that he did that to me. You wouldn't have even thought he did that to me because he wouldn't, he would come correct to me. I made that loud and clear. Like you said, you're the queen, I'm the queen, I'm God's child. Yes. You better say that thing, girl. Break me. You can go around town and you can lie. You can say whatever you want, and it's crack because them same people, they be like, no.
You better say that.
Something ain't right about what you saying. Cause honey, I done seen her and spoke to her and I don't even have to explain because it's on you. People see it on you. People see it. You don't have to go around, he going around saying this, he going around telling these. No, you don't have to. No, that's not how it works. Once you cover in God's grace and Stephanie, You've been really telling it, girl. You've been really telling and sending God's word.
God tell you all you got to do is
spotlight. He put that spotlight on you. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You don't have to worry about being afraid, being ashamed. And that's with anything. Not just with abuse. That's with anything.
Right.
God said all I had to do was show up. And that's all I'm doing. If I knew I had to do this 10, 15 years ago, I'd be somewhere where my life was mapped out like I wanted. In my little white picket fence, in my home, enjoying my life, me and my little puppy, having my life. Like I say, some things come through your life for a reason. People come in your life for a season. But out of all that I've been through, you know what? It may sound selfish to others, but I care less about my past because I forgave my past.
And that's what you have to do.
Forgave it.
Right.
And forgive yourself.
Yes.
You have to. That's part of healing. You can't go back. Oh, I wish. You're right. You have to forgive your past, forgive yourself, and look back, even with childhood trauma and all that. Look back, stand tall, talk to that little girl or that little boy and say, tell him it's gonna be okay. Talk to that inner child. Say, it's okay now. You are free from this. Let's move on. Matter of fact, applaud your past. Thank your past because you will never be who you are today. Period.
Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
He kept you so you can go through that so you can tell your story. Not only free yourself, but free other people.
God knows
so you can write that book.
God knows your feeling.
Mm-hmm.
He knows when you're hopeless. He knows when you care. He knows when you're brokenhearted. And one thing people forgot about when they tried to tear Stephanie down, that God was close to the brokenhearted. He never let me go. Through my addiction on the streets, I used to always say to myself, and they say, you was strange. You spoke life over yourself while you're doing wrong. I said, look at here, let me tell you, Mr. and Miss, I know the person I know I can be one day in life, and I'm going to be that person. God will never take me. He gonna take me, and where he gonna take me? He gonna take me off these streets from prostituting, addiction, dealing with people. Even with my addiction, I have a testimony that I stick to that really broke me down with my addiction too. I would walk these streets where I hung out. I don't want to say it on Zoom, but in Atlanta, where my father would hang out at. And it was cold one night, snowing out there. I had to been in and out the little hotel rooms where they had the little rooms where you can go get high, drink your liquor, just do your thing, just eat up the flesh, just kill it down, just doing my thing. I just thought I was this bad girl, not paying attention to what God say. I walked in that restaurant and sat down that young lady that was the same young lady that got high with me. I asked her for a French fry. She broke me down so bad. And you know how she broke me down? She broke me down in 2 words. She said, no. I was hungry. I hadn't ate in 2 days. It was raining. It was cold. Couldn't get a date. Couldn't do nothing. I walked home in the rain. I got down by my auntie house. Before I got to my mom's house, I met a guy. He picked me up. He turned on my street around the corner from my mom. We pulled up in a car. We pulled up in his house, up on the car porch. I said, oh, I'm back. I'm finna get me a rock. I'm finna get me some look. I'm finna get back there, get in the house. I'm finna get back in the crack house so I can sit down and get high, hang out with the girls and wait till the dudes come with the money, smoke my crack, drink the liquor, just have me a good time, y'all. I just thought I was this Miss thing, not knowing that I'm tearing my body down, not knowing they don't care, just thinking they love me. When that man finished with me and I bent, after I got out that car and we pulled up I jumped up, but when we pulled up under the carport, we pulled down our clothes, we did what we had to do, honey. When I bent down to pull mine up, I got a fist so hard to my head. Girl, I thought my head left my body. It got knocked 2 blocks down the street.
Oh, God.
I took off running through a backyard with a piece of crack stuck up in my mouth. If you can see me on the picture, I had a piece of crack in my mouth. I had a razor blade sitting down in my mouth because I would walk with a razor blade. I would walk with a razor blade, and I would have a knife on my side. When I say felt like he knocked my head off, I took out running through that backyard. I heard a bullet went. I heard a gun. It said, the bullet went right by my ear. I got behind a tree, I ducked, but I hold on to that crack because I wanted that hit. That was my mission, to smoke.
Stephanie, even though a bullet had flew past your dome, you was still had that piece of soap dope in your mouth.
Yes, ma'am. I had that piece of crack rock in my mouth, and I had that razor blade on the right and the crack in the left.
Goodness.
I went through that backyard after that bullet hit me. I ran through my aunt's yard. I ended up on the main street. I ended up on the street across from her. When I got there, because I went through there hollering, I was just hollering. I don't think they heard me because it was like 3 in the morning. I'm out there trying to walk the streets at 3 in the morning. Girl, I thought I had it going on. I went in that crack house and I told the dude that stayed there that I thought, well, I ain't thought, he was always nice to me. He would, but I would have to do like sexual things with him just to, eat at his house or take a bath or smoke or whatever, But anyway, I went in there and hit that pipe, and I got a little paranoid. I went to looking because they always tell them I'm listening at the window and listening at the carpet when I get high. I can laugh about it now, but I looked out that window. When I say I saw that boy going up the street with that gun hanging out that window, he was looking for me, trying to find out where I ran to. That's the same night I told God, I said, I'm through. I'm through with dope. I got denied food. After I got denied food, I like the guy killed. I took off, moved to Mechanicsville. Woo.
To Mechanicsville?
Went to old Mechanicsville now. The old Mechanicsville.
You talking about the one T.I. be talking about?
Not the old, I'm talking about the old one, not the one they got built now, baby. The old one. That's the new one up now. They had an old one. I stayed, and let me tell you, I'm so sharp with it. 514 Fulton Street apartment in. I already know my address. I had a public housing apartment out there. I told you I can go on for a week with y'all. Girl.
Where you going on a week now?
No.
I'm just hoping this help. I'm just giving my testimony, but I'm just trying to tell you how I got out of it. This how the end of my crack addiction in.
Okay.
I got over there after I left from over there where I was hanging at, and I moved to Mechanicsville, got my apartment. I'm like, fine, I got my apartment. I ain't got to go on other people's house to smoke crack. I can smoke crack in my own house. I'm good. I got me a public housing apartment. See, they had public housing in Section 8 and based on your income back then. Now they just got this based on your income thing. That was back in the early 80s, about 83, 84, somewhere in there. But anyway, I get over there and I meet the little drug boys over there. Girl, they come in there and gave me that little sweet dream. Come in there, paid the rent up for 2 years, honey. They come in there, paid all the bills. They did everything. Girl, I signed my own death certificate that night. I signed my own death certificate. This how God saved me again. God did it. The dope they gave me to keep their dope in my house, I smoked mine and I broke in the closet and smoked there. I got them. They gave me a 50, then they gave me about 5-6 ounces they left in the closet. I got all of them out that closet. I left my own apartment. Took my children to my mama's house, left them, and didn't even tell her I was leaving. Left them, went over to a relative, to my relative house, and I smoked for a whole week. A whole week I got high. And when that dope was gone, I had to finally go face the consequences. And when I got there, they always say a crook can get what they want. How they got in my house, I don't know. But I had burglar boys all around there. I mean, not house, excuse me, the apartment. When I got in there, they beat me to the poke. They beat me so bad I was in intensive care for a week. I was on a walker for a while. And my mama had to sit there. My mama and my brother, my children had to sit there and see them beat me with guns. Crack is not a joke. Prostitution is not a joke. I walked away with no diseases that's not curable. I walked away with none of that. I don't talk a lot about my deep scars because God don't want me to talk to him about them. He want me to talk about how he delivered me. He want me to share how he delivered me and how others can be delivered and know that it's a deliverance through that. You just gotta go through the process and you gotta listen when he talk to you. You gotta just let people be people. You gotta love them where they at. No matter what they do to you, you gotta just constantly love them where they at. but you don't have to tolerate from nobody that's unacceptable to you. If they can't treat you like they want to be treated, you ain't got to do that. When I learned this, and when I learned to know that it's okay to say no, boy, I thought I was Beyonce or somebody. You okay?
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. Any last questions you had, Kiki or Mo, for Miss Stephanie before we wrap things up?
No, I just want to tell her thank you. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Thank you for helping others through your testimony, because that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm so happy that God is working on you and through you to be able to be that light.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for being a guest on the show.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much. And I hope I can do some more podcasts with you guys, because y'all will see me soon.
Oh, yes. Okay, Stephanie. So
sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Your story was very inspiring. Like I mentioned, even being someone that has gone through, domestic violence, physically, physical and verbal abuse, just abuse, period, and moving on from that. So that was very inspiring and touching to me. So I'm sure, it's somebody out there that will feel the same way. Because even if it's just one person, because that one person can help the next person, and the next person can help that one, and continue to, try to help each other out in this world. So just thank you so much for your transparency. It does take courage and strength, and you showed all of those things. So I also want to just mention to you to keep going. It does.
Oh yes.
Even with your not so good days, because we have them all, but the key thing is to, it's how we move on from it, and we want to do it in a healthy way. So
that's right.
That's all I have. And I just want to say to our listeners, even if you can't relate to this particular story, if you know anyone who does, anyone in your family, a friend, someone that you'll meet, just share this podcast, let them listen, help us help someone. We don't always have to be the one, be that resource. We can say, hey, find that resource, bring the resource to other people. Hey, listen, talk to this person, or listen to this, or read this, or whatever the case may be. Let's just start coming together more and, helping each other one individual at a time. So thank you so much, ladies. Mo, was there anything that you wanted to add really quick before we head on out for the evening? Go.
So, basically the same thing from Kiki. I appreciate you sharing your story. It's good to be able to be confident and be able to talk about it and just kind of get it out in the open and not be ashamed of what you've been through, because that's how you grow and become a better person. And that's really it. You got to be real brave in order to be really transparent and vulnerable around other people. So thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Ma'am. All right.
And my closing remarks are, ladies and gentlemen, you see something, say something. When you see the first sign, run and don't look back. Run and don't look back.
Okay. Hey.
Love yourself. Learn to love yourself first.
Yes.
And God will show you how to love others, but take no wooden knuckles.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. Well, it was a pleasure It was a real pleasure tonight joining you ladies again. And we are going to head out of here. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and light. We are out of here. See y'all next time.
Yes, bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.